But the second tip. So tip number 1, just to summarize,
Shared
experience.
experience.
Shared
Yes.
experiences. The second tip is having knowledge. So having an understanding of your partner based off of who they are, what they like, what they dislike, having knowledge. So to give you an example of that,
Actually get to like know them.
well, and I know that that sounds so like
Like
elementary.
cliche and like general, but like
Well, but the truth is that sometimes people find themselves in arguments, and it's so simple. When you break down the argument and you realize what actually started the argument.
what triggered the like and
Yeah.
why were they triggered by this? Because maybe it had nothing to do with maybe you. It was just it brought up something in them and it made them feel about someone else in their past or
Yes,
just
he's dealt with that a lot.
so you gotta realize, okay, they're mad, they're upset, and you don't get it because you didn't really may not have done something, but you did do something.
Yes.
You did. You got to realize what you did. And the only reason you would know is if you actually care to pay attention and realize what hurts them. If that
Correct.
makes sense.
That's understanding your partner
On a different level.
on a completely different level. And that takes a lot of effort. So with that being said, when you're putting a lot of effort into someone, it's a lot more difficult to walk away than someone who has put zero effort into you, or if you've put zero effort into that person. So that's something else that I think a lot of times, and I don't mean to, I definitely don't want this to be like, oh, men suck or oh, women suck. But I think it's important that people do know I don't necessarily get along with a lot of men. Actually, I think it's probably safe to say that I highly dislike most men for the most part. But this is not to be like, oh, men are the ones who don't listen. No, because it happens on both sides. Let's just call it like it is. But I will say I am also a firm believer that men should absolutely be taking as much of a step to understanding their partner, just as much, if not a little more so, than the women. Now, I mean, and that's why.
Because I think, well, guys, too, we realize we're kind of, I hate to, again, be cliche, but we're like less emotional, more just like on a logic. We're like, okay, you're mad at this, but there's no fucking reason to be mad.
Right. Well,
and that's in our head. We're like, oh, really? There is no reason. But to them, there is a reason that they're mad. So you just got to be like, okay.
Understanding.
They're mad for a reason. You don't understand the reason because in our mind, it doesn't make sense. But to them, it does. That's the important part. It doesn't have to make sense to us.
Yes.
And that's a hard thing for guys to understand.
It really is, actually. It really, really is.
But I think it's also hard for females to explain that to guys. Because, like, I only learned that through, like, years of experience and going through stuff and being like, what the heck did I do?
Is there something I could have done to have made that easier for
you?
you?
It's become easier, like, the more we've been together and the more we talk.
Does it go back down to, like, communication?
Yeah, it's communication and piecing together. But I think that's just between both people. Like, the women, they'll get upset, but they're not really explaining the deep down reason. Because guys, we're simple for the most part. Like, if you just tell us to be like, yo, someone did this to me a long time ago, and if your voice is in this tone, it's just gonna trigger me.
It's so shocking that they are actually as simple as they say.
And
women are not. We have 8,000 browsers open in our mind at one singular time, and it is truly exhausting.
I also think having daughters too, like 2 daughters, and just being around women all the time.
All the time.
So now, like, because even my daughters will be like, Dad, oh, you're doing that again. I'm like, what am I doing?
It's mainly your tone.
Yeah.
That's mainly it.
So that's probably another reason I have a slight better understanding of what's going on in their mind.
But you also do take time and effort to kind of so a lot of times too, especially when we were first married, I was definitely not good with communicating. And as a matter of fact, it got so bad there for a while that you became overly sensitive to me just breathing. So like, I'll be like, and you'll jump right up. Like, I can be within a 2-mile radius and you will hear that exhale and you'll be like, what babe? What's wrong? What do you need help with? What can I do? And to me, that's actually kind of a beautiful thing, because now, even though I'm not exhaling in the same way that I did when we were first married, it still affects you to this day. I'm so sorry. I feel like I've traumatized you.
That's one of my traumas.
But the truth is that when we were first married, I had such a hard time communicating to you. I was actually frustrated with myself because
probably you couldn't explain it, and you're mad because I couldn't understand. Because honestly, I'll say too, like, even being that young, our brains just aren't fully
developed.
We really are. I'm like,
that's why we also, like, we believe in young love, but we also aren't encouraging people to get married as young as we did, because we do realize that we are absolutely, we don't really like to call ourselves lucky, but we absolutely are one of those couples who are very fortunate that we have grown together. Most people, when they fall in love that young, it's
Mhm.
very, very rare for them to grow together. But back to kind of understanding the knowledge, when we were first married, I was more frustrated with myself because I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. So I was a new mom, a young mom, new mom. I'd be cleaning the house, taking care of the laundry, making dinners, bathing the kids. Like I took all of those traditional wife roles very seriously. And the reason for that is because of how we were raised, which we will get
Mhm.
into at a later date. But that's what was expected of me, not from Andrew, but from everybody else. That's what was expected of me. Come to find out, that I was not happy that way. It's not because I didn't want to do things for him, but my true happiness was working. Like I loved working. I still love working. I love connecting with people. So all this time I would be at home and I would just be cleaning and cleaning. Andrew would come home from work. He would sit down in front of the TV, turn the TV on, and he would just, it was like nothing.
And then we just really weren't communicating because I was go home and like watch TV because I worked all day in the heat and garbage
And he was still
stuff.
young.
Just
But see,
working.
here was my thing is I was like,
We
well,
didn't have
I'm
money.
young,
We had kids, and it
had
was just
zero money.
like
And I would be like, well, wait a minute. We're the same age. Yes, he went out to work, but I've been at home working all day and I'm still working after he got home. So I would be sitting there and I'm like, no, you're overreacting. This is normal. And I would
But
just be
then
so
again, I think
frustrated.
it's that kind of like traditional mentality that's just ingrained in you. Even as a guy, you're like, okay, I went to work all day. Now I'm home, and I should just sit here and
Well,
you know
because
what.
that's also
But
what
that's
you saw. So when I saw Andrew come home, it wasn't that I didn't realize he had had a long day of work. It was more the frustration that I was like, well, why does he get to sit down? Why do I have this nagging like I constantly heard this voice being like, what are you doing? Are you helping? Are you making the home life comfortable, better? Like, what are you doing with your time? And I'm like, why doesn't he have that?
Well, I think social
So,
media's kind of switched that a little bit around. So
well,
guys, we're
social
definitely encouraged to do more at home now.
social media has definitely helped, I think, just create awareness, but also too just the times changing. Like,
And honestly, to me, this goes back to even the first thing. Like, if I came home and then you were like hadn't finished dinner yet, and I just like started helping you cook, then
oh my
we would have like
God.
loved each other even more if I did that.
I
And I
love
hate
when
that.
you cook with me in the kitchen. And the thing is that I actually
But
love cooking. That's one of my love
you didn't
languages.
then, but
I didn't then. No, I certainly did not then. Bless your heart. The first, like what, 2 years of our marriage, everything we ate was out of the box.
my cousins will never stop talking about the green beans.
They will never, like, I babysat his cousins one time just to make some extra money when we were first married. And I just made like canned green beans. They were traumatized. And it wasn't even the fact that I overcooked them or
It's
burned
like
them.
20 years later, they still won't
They
eat green
still
beans.
won't let it go. And bless their hearts, I don't blame them because I don't like canned green beans myself.
So bad.
But especially the type of canned green bean. I mean, we were so poor. So like,
I never complained about your food though.
no, you never did. And I was shocked because there would be times that you would eat it and I'd be like, oh, honey, no, don't eat it. Don't do it. I ended up getting to a point where I loved cooking though. And now him and the girls and the rest of our family say that I'm a phenomenal cook. I don't know. I have to take their word for it. But I love cooking now.
So that makes me
But
like
that's a
think going
beautiful
back.
example. Yeah.
If you
If
just
you had just been like, hey, babe, I'll tell you a story if it's
yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
Can I tell him about the sauce?
I knew-
Did you know it was going to happen?
Yes, I knew the sad part is I knew this is not scripted, y'all. I promise you. I knew exactly where she was gonna hit. She's just waiting to tell this story. She loves this freaking
Well,
story.
honey,
Go
it's
ahead,
not-
stop. Get the sauce. Just knock it out.
It's not that I love the story. It's just such a good example of how things were when we were first married versus how they are now.
Go ahead. Just cut to the sauce. Show the clip.
Okay, so I had been at home all day with the girls and I was making like Baja, what was it, like Baja fish tacos, and it had like this sauce with it.
You've made it before. This is like probably your third time making it.
Yeah, I had made it
And
before.
I like the meal.
But the thing is he doesn't like cabbage. Like he's not a cabbage
Like
person.
coleslaw, cabbage is
So, but a good taco, a good fish taco always has some sort of slaw with it. Like that's just, it's the name of the game. But the thing was this particular time I was making these fish tacos and I knew he didn't like the cabbage. So I was like, I'm not going to make the slaw this time with the sauce. I'm not going to do it because he doesn't like the cabbage. Well, which was stupid. I should have known because he's a sauce person. But again,
I
this
love
was
sauce.
limited mentality back then. I wasn't, we were still learning the ropes with one another.
This is the
He
dumbest
comes in
fight.
after working. Now, mind you, I was already pissed because he was supposed to come home like an hour and a half earlier. The kids are all over me. I'm in this hot kitchen slaving over this meal. He walks in the door and I'm like, oh, I made these fish tacos for you. And he goes, where's the sauce? Didn't say hello.
I swear there's gonna be a tagline somewhere. Where's the sauce?
Where's the sauce? Yeah, did not say hello to me. Didn't leave in and give me a kiss like he normally did. Like he had a rough day too. And all he cared about was that damn sauce. And I swear to God,
It's good sauce though, y'all.
this is literally, he asked me about the sauce and this is what I did.
I knew I was dead like 2 seconds later. I was like,
Yes.
oh.
Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking that day.
I don't. It was probably like a really hot. It had to be summer.
wa-
It
it
was
was
like a
summer,
really
baby.
hot ass
Because
day.
the fish tacos are really
And
light.
like you said, I worked later and I just got home and I was like, you told. I think she told me.
I
She even
told
told me
you.
on the phone. She's like, "Yeah, I made the fish tacos that you love." And I'm like, "Oh, sweet. I'm gonna get home."
I didn't realize it was the sauce that made him love the fish tacos.
I
If he had
do, it
told me
makes the
that, I
fish
would have just made
tacos.
him a big old bowl of fish and the sauce. No taco, just fish and sauce. Now I know, and he's never had his fish tacos without
So now,
sauce
and
ever
that,
again.
and I know. Don't immediately ask where is the sauce.
I kind of feel like that should have been common knowledge, but then again, you're men are simple
We're
creatures.
simple. I just was curious. Honestly, I was just like, hey, where's the sauce? I like sauce. Everyone likes sauce. I wasn't being mean. I was just like, hey, where's sauce?
Well, you weren't. He was not being mean, but his tone.
The tone. It's the tone, bro. It's the tone, guys.
Apparently
They
we
will
have a tone.
understand. Well, they'll understand my issue with
We have
tones
a
the
tone.
more I tell them my background with just men in general. I have a rough background, so the fact that and I'll be honest, this is also just a good point. I need to work on a lot of things on my own. So did Andrew come in and not say things the right way? Well, yes, he probably shouldn't have worded it that way. But I also didn't need to be so triggered. I have a very, very big issue with people who talk about being triggered by shit constantly, but they're also not putting any work in to heal past the triggers.
Yeah.
Now, there are some things that are going to be deeply embedded, and it may take you your entire existence to work past those triggers or just work with being able to understand them and not react so harshly when they come.
So
But
again, that goes, with understanding.
it's
Sometimes
both ways.
See,
Like
so
you-
like my tone, you sometimes just realize sometimes I just have a tone. It doesn't mean
Yes.
I'm doing it. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just how I talk.
Well,
Like
and your
a lot of times I'm just
enthusiasm
yeah, I'm not-
is directly related to whatever topic you're talking about.
So most times this is what I get in trouble with a lot too. Not with just Karen, just my daughters, just people in general. I'm not a very excited person. Just
Which
my
is so-
like you see me talking and I'll get excited to say something, but generally my day to day I'm not like excited. Like someone tells me something, I'm kind of like, oh cool.
He does not have an overly bubbly response. He doesn't even have an overly excited response. There have been times where I would be working with a client during a photo shoot and I'd be like, oh my God, babe, look at this image in front of the client, mind you. And he'll be like, cool.
But like, it was good.
And I'm like,
good work.
what? Excuse me, sir. You better say this is the most fucking amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. And so
our daughters have her thing where they get excited about anything. Like, oh my God, there's a new water bottle. I don't know.
yeah, we do. We get
Just
so
random,
pumped
"Oh
about
my- it's a video of a shark. I'm like, oh yeah, everybody, woo! I kind of sometimes feel like on Parks and Rec, like with little Sebastian, like I'm Ben Wyatt, and all of y'all are so excited for this little horse, and I'm like, he's.
I don't get it. And
he's
we're
a
like,
mature horse.
get out.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
get out.
Yes, that's absolutely.
So now I'm
exactly what
like,
it's
I love him too.
Well, I mean, the thing
But I
is,
try to internally actually be like excited. Like I am excited. It's just sometimes it doesn't come out that way. So now I try to,
well, your excitement just shows in different
does.
ways.
It
Like
does.
it really does. It just shows in different ways. But all of these examples are
like putting
What
it
we're-
together. So she realizes that I'm not being mean when I'm not being excited. That's just how I.
well, and I even have to
Okay.
remind the girls. I have to remind them because they're like, Dad doesn't get excited about anything, any of the stuff that I've done. I'm like, yes, he does. I'm like, he just doesn't show it the same way that I do. And so he tries actively to work on that. So it's something that our girls remember positively and not, we don't want them to go back and be like, oh my God, you remember that time Mom was so excited and Dad was just like, eh. That's not what we want. So he actively tries to work on that. But this is exactly what we're talking about with working on understanding your partner. Work with them from a place of knowledge, not from a place of emotion. Work with them with how you know their likes and their dislikes to the best of your ability. And again, this takes a lot of effort. And another reason why I think we've been together and married for as long as we have is because, again, we've put so much effort into one another. And I don't want it to seem like, oh my God, well, now we've put all this effort in and now we don't want to quit. Well, no, it's not that. But I have invested my time, my energy, my love. It's good. It's amazing. Why would I want that to end? You know what I'm saying? So it's not, I don't want you to think of it as like, oh, well, we're trapped now. We've put all this time and effort.
Oh, I just got to sit here. I've, made my bed. I might as well lay in it.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Out of all of the relationships that we've seen fail, and we've seen a lot fail, we've had friends that have failed in their marriages. I mean, it's just been, we've seen. That's
why I stopped having friends for the most part. Because I'm like, God,
it was bad. It got bad
up.
there
They
for
just
a minute.
they made our marriage miserable sometimes.
They did.
They'd be complaining about each other to us, and I'm like,
we're not taking sides with nobody. Like, y'all need to handle your shit. But on top of that, I always found that it was one person in the relationship that was always putting more effort than the other. Yeah. And that was something that Andrew and I made a commitment to a long time. And we have to remind each other, we are in this together. I'm going to put in sometimes, and it's never easy.
Sometimes one person is putting more effort in because that's just how life is going at that point. Someone's in a better position, they're healthier, it's easier for them to put it is doing better. So you just got to figure out like, okay, I got to carry this for a little bit because they're out of it. They need a break.
I look at it as like passing a torch. So like there's going to be times where you're both at 50-50 and you're like, I'm giving this and they're giving this back to me. And then there's going to be times where you're going the full 100 and they need to do the full 100 back. But I can tell you one thing, out of all of the marriages that we have seen fail. And
that's knowing each other, knowing your partners just needs a moment.
It was the fact that there was always one partner putting in more effort than the other. And that's just never a good place. That's just not a good place to be in. And I think part of the reason why, because you technically could stop putting in effort. I technically could stop putting in effort even tomorrow. The core reason and the core belief as to why I don't stop putting effort in is because I believe in us. I believe I've seen the good times. I've lived the good times. I know they're worth fighting for. And I think people lose sight of that. I think that's why people are like, well, I don't know what happened. He just all of a sudden, or she just all of a sudden stopped caring. Well, it's never just as quick as that.
There's never like a sudden.
There is never a sudden.
Well, what did they say? It just came out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. She just asked for, or he just asked for a divorce out of nowhere. It's never that easy. It's never that simple. There has been likely months, if not years, of your partner trying to
not communicating.
Correct. So if you are getting to a point where you're like, oh my God, this came out of nowhere, the problem might be you. Because more than likely, it's always the person who's like, I didn't see it coming. It's the shocked person that was likely just so mentally checked out. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Putting effort in a relationship, it's hard. It is not easy. And I don't mean that in the sense, because, I love Andy. Any relationship on this planet is going to take a fuck ton of effort. And that's just the cold hard truth. So if you don't want to put effort in, don't be in a relationship. Because people get so comfortable in their relationships that they stop putting the effort in. And that's where shit really starts to corrode and kind of just crumble, if you will. And I know why. It's because people get tired. And that could be because of life, bills, stress, anxiety. I mean, there's a million and one things that can contribute to somebody being just too tired to put in effort. But that's where Andrew was saying earlier, if I'm not 100 mentally and I'm just burnt out from work or whatever, he's going to have to pull that load for me for a little bit. And he's going to have to do what he can to make it okay. And then
she's not able to cook dinner. Something's going on. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't cook. I say I can't cook. It's I won't cook. But really, I can't cook. I suck at it. So I'll just order food. But if there's a time I'm like, okay, she can't make dinner, I'll just order food. I mean, I know it'd be more romantic to cook it, and I'm sorry I don't.
Oh, baby, I'll order it. I actually love cooking. I actually love the fact that you don't cook. I know that's really, really odd, but I like being the one that cooks in our family. And it's not that again, all of this.
My daughters will say I make a really mean cinnamon bread.
Cinnamon bread.
They do. They talk about. They're like, Dad.
Wait, no. What are you talking about? Cinnamon
when I put
bread?
Cinnamon on top of bread, put it in the oven.
Oh,
I put some butter. Some
cinnamon toast.
My daughters will swear it's the best thing ever.
You straight said cinnamon bread, and I was like, wait, what? Cinnamon toast. Yeah, they do. They go on and on about that.
They'll be like, no, Dad can't cook, Mom.
They go on and on about
He makes
that.
the best breakfast cinnamon bread.
Well, and the thing is that I don't even care. Like, because it's true. If I'm not cooking or if I'm sick, you'll just order food,
Yeah, I
which
will.
is equally as fine. I mean, the girls actually they're a little bit spoiled with food. They like home cooked meals now.
Unless it's Lila. Lila's like Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Lila will always go for Chick-fil-A. But anyways, that's what we're talking about when we say work with your partner based off of knowledge. Just understand one another. It takes time. You're going to have some really, really shitty days and you're going to have some really, really good days.
And I'll tell you this too, because like, okay, we've been together since we were 16, but there's still stuff that I didn't know and understand that I still have to figure out 20 years later. That never will stop.
And it never, yes. And that's what I'm saying
Because
is
people
that,
change even. Like,
well, and that's what I'm saying. If you're not willing to continuously show up and put the effort in, then don't do it.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with kids. You're going to have to put effort into them when you don't want to. You're going to be exhausted and tired. And guess what? You're still going to have to go put the kids in bed or bathe them or help them with homework. If you don't want to do that, then don't have kids. Don't get married.
Correct.
There is so much more to
if
a
you don't want to put effort
relationship.
into another person, don't be with another
That's
person.
what I'm saying. There's so many positive things about a relationship, but there's a lot of negative too. And that's just because we live in a stressful world. I mean, we have so many things that are affecting our relationship. If we lived in a perfect world, then sure,
Yeah,
let's just everybody just get married and start having kids, but that's not the world that we live in. Now, me, I love caring for Andrew. I love caring for my kids, but absolutely, I am a imperfect human being and I'm going to have my days where I just don't want to do it. Andrew shows up for me in those moments because
Can
he
I just
knows.
say you look really sexy in these pajamas right now?
Thanks, baby.
Okay, sorry.
Really?
Right.
I like yours too. Anyways, but yes, work with one another from knowledge, and that's put that effort in all the time. It's going to end up being a benefit in the long run, but it takes time.
So that was tip 2.